The city was quiet that night, more quiet than usual. People were still afraid of the ships in the sky. They had been there for months now, huge dark shapes hiding behind the clouds, with thin lines of light that moved like slow shooting stars. Some people tried to ignore them. Some stayed inside after dark. Some stood on roofs and stared up, wondering what was coming next. Lily stood on the roof of her apartment building and did the same thing she always did. She hugged her arms around herself and watched the sky. Her breath made little white clouds in the cold air. The small lights from the city below flickered like tired stars under her feet. Above her, the real stars were pale behind the shadows of alien ships. She was leaving in 2 days. In her pocket, there was a smooth metal wrist device with a bright screen. When she pulled it out and checked the time, the device showed the countdown in glowing numbers. 47 hours until departure. The letters sat there, calm and cold, like this was just another bus schedule or flight ticket. It did not feel calm inside her. Lily had spent the last 4 years working for the Alliance Contact Office. Before the ships came, she had been good with languages. She liked patterns, sounds, and the strange rules that humans made for words. When the first alien signals came, the government needed people like her. She joined the decoding team. She spent long nights in small rooms with screens full of symbols and strange sounds, trying to find meaning. Now the aliens were not just signals. They were here. They had signed a treaty with Earth. They had invited humans to join something bigger. A huge group of many worlds and many species. The Alliance. Lily had been chosen to leave on one of the first big waves of humans to go up. The departure, people called it. Some talked about it with hope, some with anger, some with fear. She touched the metal band around her wrist. It had a small symbol of the Alliance on it, a simple circle with 3 lines. The band meant she was cleared to board a transport ship. It also meant she would not be coming back for a long time. The wind cut across the rooftop, sharp and cold. Lily shivered and turned her face away from the sky for a moment. She looked at the city instead. She knew these streets, the shape of every corner, the little park 2 blocks away, the coffee shop with the broken neon sign, the bus stop where she had waited in the rain so many times. It was not a beautiful city. Not in the way travel pictures showed. It was noisy, messy, and sometimes rough. But it was home. She heard the roof door creak open behind her. The sound was familiar. She did not even need to look. "That is you, Ethan," she said. "Yeah?" his voice answered. "Who else sneaks up here in the middle of the night?" She turned and saw him step out into the cold. Ethan wore an old, dark jacket and a thin scarf that did not help much with the wind. His hair was messy like always, like he had just run his hands through it too many times. His cheeks were slightly red from the climb up the stairs. He walked over and stopped beside her at the edge of the roof, leaving a small space between them. Not too close, not too far, the same spot he always chose. "You are going to freeze up here," he said. She smiled a little. "My heart already feels frozen," she said. "The rest can match." He gave her a look, half worried and half amused. "You check the countdown again?" "Of course," she said, and showed him the numbers on her wrist device. He grimaced. "Wow, 2 days. That is wild." She nodded slowly. "They moved me up," she said. "It used to be next month. Then I got the update today. Sooner transport. More people on this wave." Ethan looked back at the sky. Small lights moved there, like tiny insects gliding along invisible paths. "You would think they would give more warning," he said. Lily shrugged. "I guess they think humans are good with sudden changes now. We had a lot of practice." He did not answer right away. They stood in silence for a while. The wind pushed against them. Somewhere below, a car drove past. A dog barked once, then stopped. "You are really going," he said at last. "Yeah," she whispered. "I am really going." He gave a short laugh with no humor in it. I remember when you used to joke about this, he said. You said if aliens ever came, you wanted to be the first to say hello. She smiled softly. Yeah, then they actually came. And I still said yes. Because you are like that, he said. Brave. She shook her head. I am not brave. I am just very bad at saying no to big things. He smiled at that, but his eyes were sad. He pushed his hands deeper into his jacket pockets. So, he said slowly, what happens tonight? Some packing, more forms, dramatic crying in the shower. I did the forms, she said. I did most of the packing. Dramatic crying is scheduled for later. He snorted. Good. Would not want to miss that. She looked at him. His jokes were light, but his shoulders were tense and his jaw was tight. She could tell he was holding something back. He always did that when things were too serious. He joked when he was scared. She thought of all the times he had come up to this roof after a long day, bringing cheap takeout and silly stories. They had shared everything here, from bad news about bills to good news about promotions. He was the person she felt most herself around, and she was leaving him behind. Her chest ached with a slow, dull pain. She turned away and looked up at the biggest ship she could see, a faint dark curve just above the clouds. I got a message earlier, she said. From who? He asked. The Alliance envoy, she answered. The one I told you about, Arya. Right, the tall blue one with the haunted eyes, he said. I remember the news clip. She looks like she is always thinking too hard. Lily smiled a little. She does think a lot, she said. Anyway, she said she is coming here tonight. Here, he said, blinking. Like, here, to this building. That is what she said. Ethan stared at her for a moment, then looked around at the cracked rooftop, the rusted vents, the peeling paint near the door. Well, he said, trying to sound casual, we could have cleaned a little. Lily laughed, a short, surprised sound. It felt good to laugh, even for a second. She said she wants to speak to me in person before the departure, Lily said. She said there is something she has to ask. Ask you, Ethan repeated. That sounds important. They do not send fancy aliens down for nothing. I know, Lily said quietly. Do you know what she is going to ask? He said. No, Lily answered. That is what scares me. He looked at her closely. She looked smaller than usual. Wrapped in her coat, hair moving in the wind, eyes bright and tired. He had known her for years. He had seen her angry, happy, stressed, sleepy. He had never seen her look like this. Like she was already halfway gone, like the sky had taken hold of her. He wanted to say something strong and clear, something like stay, or I need you here. But the words felt heavy in his throat. Who was he to hold her back from the stars? Who was he to stand between her and the whole galaxy? He swallowed and looked back at the sky instead. So, he said after a pause, when is she coming? Soon, Lily said. She sent the message an hour ago. As if the universe had been listening, Lily's wrist device hummed softly. The small screen lit up with a soft blue circle, incoming signal. She tapped it, and a quiet, clear voice filled the air around them. Lily, the voice said, this is Arya. May I enter your building? Lily drew in a slow breath. Yes, she said. The door is open. Top floor, roof access. I will meet you by the hallway. Thank you, Arya's voice replied. I will arrive in a moment. The circle on the screen faded. Ethan stared. She just calls and asks to come over, he said, like a neighbor asking for sugar. Lily tried to smile. Space sugar, she said. He blew out a long breath. Guess I should not be here when she arrives, he said. I mean, I do not want to make it awkward. You live here too, Lily said. It is okay. You do not have to hide. He hesitated. Then he nodded slowly. Okay, I will just act normal. Extremely normal. Completely not freaked out. They went down the stairs together. The stairwell lights flickered a little. The air smelled like dust and old paint. It was all so familiar that it felt strange to think that an alien envoy was about to walk through the same hallway where kids left their bikes and someone's old shoe still sat in a corner. They stepped into the top-floor hallway. It was narrow and a bit dim, with doors on both sides. Ethan's door was 3 steps away from Lily's. She looked at the worn numbers on the doors. Soon these numbers would mean nothing to her, just a picture in her mind. There was a soft sound at the end of the hallway, like air shifting. A pale light grew there, gentle and silver. It was not bright like a flash. It was smooth and quiet, like watching moonlight fold into a single spot. Then Arya appeared. She was taller than both of them, with long limbs and smooth blue skin that caught the light in subtle shades. Her hair was silver and fell straight down her back. Her eyes were a pale, glowing silver, calm and deep. She wore a simple dark uniform with the Alliance circle on the chest. Beside her floated a small sphere the size of a melon, soft white, humming faintly. The translator. Arya looked at them and gave a small, graceful nod. "Lily," she said in clear human words, "thank you for seeing me." Lily's heart beat faster. "Hi, Arya," she said. "Thank you for coming." Ethan stood a little behind Lily. He was not sure if he should wave, bow, or salute. In the end, he raised his hand halfway. Hey," he said. "Welcome to our very normal hallway." Arya's eyes moved to him. She took a small step closer, her gaze curious but gentle. "You are Ethan," she said. "I saw your image in Lily's memory file when she sent her psychological report." Ethan froze. "You did what?" Lily flushed. "It is just a standard thing," she said quickly. "They ask about friends and family. They run models and stuff." Arya gave a soft, almost smile. "We do not read minds, Ethan," she said. "Only the data you humans choose to send. But patterns are powerful. You are important to Lily. Therefore, you are important to this moment." Ethan blinked. No one had ever said something like that to him before, especially not an alien with glowing eyes. Thank you," he said. "I think." Arya studied the hallway for a second. Her gaze touched the peeling paint, the crooked picture frame on the wall, the small mat in front of Lily's door. She seemed to take it all in, like it mattered. "This is where you have lived for 5 of your Earth years," she said to Lily. "Yes," Lily answered. Arya nodded slowly. "Then this place is significant." "All departure points are." Lily swallowed. "You said in your message you wanted to ask me something before I go," she said. "Yes," Arya replied. The light from the translator sphere shifted softly. "But it would be better if we speak alone for part of it. These questions involve Alliance protocol and personal history." Lily glanced at Ethan. His face was calm, but his eyes were tight around the edges. "I can go," Ethan said quickly. "I mean, I will be in my apartment. If you need me, just bang on the wall." "You do not have to," Lily started. "It is okay," he said with a small smile. "Serious space business. I get it." Arya looked at him. "You may also be part of this." "Later," she said. "But the first question is for Lily alone." Lily's heart skipped. First question. So there would be more. "Okay," she said softly. Ethan backed toward his door. He opened it, then paused and looked at Lily. "You good?" he asked quietly. She nodded, even though she was not sure. "I will be fine," she said. "I think." He gave her a small, warm look. Then he stepped inside and closed the door gently behind him. The hallway felt suddenly more quiet. Arya turned fully to Lily. Her silver eyes seemed brighter up close, full of reflections from the small hallway light. "Lily," she said, "you are scheduled to depart in approximately 47 of your hours." "Yes," Lily answered. "You know that your work has been observed by many in the Alliance," Arya continued. "Your skill, your way of thinking, Your emotional patterns? Lily shifted her weight. I know I did my job, she said. I did my best. You did more than that, Arya said. You changed how some of us think about humans. Lily stared at her, surprised. I did. Arya nodded. Humans are new to the Alliance. Many see your kind as fragile, chaotic, dangerous. You are short-lived. Your history is full of conflict, but you also have a strange strength. You adapt. You dream big. You bend and do not break. Lily felt a faint warmth in her chest. To hear that from an alien felt unreal. Before you depart, Arya said gently, I want to ask you something. It is not a casual question. It will change how you leave this world and how you arrive in the next. Lily's heart jumped. Her hands felt cold, even though the hallway air was not that cold now. The world seemed to narrow around Arya's face and the soft hum of the translator sphere. What do you want to ask? Lily whispered. For a second, Arya did not answer. Her eyes searched Lily's face, as if she were trying to read feelings the way humans read weather in the sky. Tell me, Arya said at last, do you truly wish to leave your home, or do you feel pushed away by fear and pressure? The question hit Lily like a sudden drop in an elevator. Her heart froze in her chest, not from fear of danger, but from the sharp, deep truth in the words. No one had ever asked her that so clearly. Not her boss, not the officers, not even Ethan. She opened her mouth and tried to speak, but no sound came out at first. She swallowed, her throat tight. She began, and stopped. She felt the weight of the city behind her, the sky above, the alien envoy in front of her, and the small, thin door to Ethan's apartment just an arm's length away. In that moment, with her heart frozen from excitement and fear mixed together, she understood that this night would decide more than just a seat on a ship. It would decide who she was going to be, out there among the stars, and what part of Earth she would carry with her. She drew in a slow, shaky breath and looked into Arya's silver eyes, ready to try to answer. The night air on the roof felt different now. The city below was quiet, as if it knew something important was happening up here. Lily stood a little distance from the edge, her coat wrapped tightly around her. Her heart was still racing from Arya's question in the hallway. She had not yet answered, not fully. She was afraid her answer might change everything, her life, her future, and even her relationship with Ethan. Arya floated a few feet in front of her, the soft glow of her skin reflecting the city lights. The small translator sphere hovered near her, spinning slowly, casting quiet hums that sounded almost like a faint heartbeat. The alien's tall figure looked calm and strong, but there was something in her silver eyes that made Lily pause, a feeling she could not name. Lily, Arya said softly, her voice clear and gentle. I want you to understand why I asked the question in the hallway. She paused and looked toward the distant horizon, where the first hints of dawn were beginning to color the sky. I have observed humans for some time. Your species is different from many in the Alliance. You are young, chaotic, fragile at times, but you are also resilient. You adapt in ways we cannot always predict. Lily nodded slowly. I know humans are not perfect, she said. Her voice was quiet, almost like a whisper. We fight too much, make mistakes, and sometimes hurt each other. But we also care, and we try to fix what we break. Arya turned to face her fully, the soft light catching her smooth blue skin. Yes, that is what I wanted to hear. You see, when the Alliance first met humans, many of us thought you would be weak in space, that your species would struggle to survive among older, more experienced civilizations. But your actions, your decisions, your courage, you have proven otherwise. Lily swallowed hard, feeling a small surge of pride. Even if it was strange to hear it from an alien, It mattered. Humans rarely received compliments like this, especially from beings who could travel between stars. She tried to speak, but her throat was tight. Instead, she looked at the city below, thinking about her life there, the streets, the little coffee shop she loved, and Ethan. Arya seemed to sense her hesitation. "I want to ask something more personal," she said. "You will leave Earth soon. The Alliance has chosen you to represent your species in a council that decides the future of many worlds. This is not a small responsibility, Lily. But before you go, I must know. Do you truly wish to leave your home? Or are you leaving because you feel forced by circumstances?" The question hit Lily harder than she expected. She had thought about leaving for months, imagined herself in space, meeting new species, seeing distant stars. And yet the thought of leaving Ethan, the streets, her apartment, and the life she knew made her chest ache. She shook her head slightly, trying to gather her thoughts. I want to go," she began slowly, choosing her words carefully. "I want to see the stars. I want to help humans take their place among other civilizations. But," her voice faltered, "I don't want to leave everything I love behind. I don't want to lose the people I care about." Arya nodded. "I understand. Many of us have left home worlds or habitats behind, some by choice, some by disaster. My people, my home world is gone. It was destroyed before I was born. My people live in star habitats now. We have learned to survive without a planet. But I have never experienced leaving a home I loved. That is why I ask you, Lily, what does Earth mean to you? Not the data or the statistics, but the life, the smells, the sounds, the people. What is home?" Lily took a deep breath, staring at the dark city below. "Earth. It smells like rain on hot pavement, like coffee in the morning, and like the grass in the park near my apartment. It tastes like cold soda in the summer, warm bread from the bakery down the street. It sounds like the wind through trees, the laughter of my little brother, and the music people play on the streets at night. It is messy, loud, sometimes ugly, but it is alive. It is everything I know, and everything I love." Arya's eyes glowed softly as she listened. The hum of the translator sphere filled the space around them, quiet and steady. "I see," she said. "That is valuable. That is why humans are needed in the Alliance. You carry your world within you. When you leave, you do not leave Earth behind. You bring it with you." Lily blinked. She had never thought about it that way. The idea that she could carry Earth into space made the ache in her chest a little lighter. She could leave without losing her home, in a way. She could make it part of the larger galaxy. Arya floated closer, her voice dropping slightly. "The Council will challenge you. They will test your ideas, your patience, your morals. Many older species may doubt your capability because of your youth and inexperience. But your perspective is what they need. You are human. You are alive in ways we no longer remember. That is your strength." Lily swallowed. She wanted to ask so many questions, but she did not know where to begin. Finally, she asked the one she had been holding in her chest the entire night. "And Ethan? My family? My friends? How can I leave without feeling like I am abandoning them?" Arya's silver eyes softened. "All sentient beings carry unfinished stories. Even when we leave, some part of home stays with us. You cannot take everything, nor should you try. What matters is that you carry what is essential: love, hope, loyalty. Humans are especially good at keeping bonds across distance. You will learn this soon." Lily let her words sink in. She thought about Ethan, about the people she loved. The thought of leaving them unfinished was frightening, but Arya's words gave her a small sense of possibility. She could go and still carry the people she loved with her. The first faint colors of dawn began to show on the horizon. The sky above the city turned from dark black to deep purple, then to pink and orange. Lily took a deep breath, feeling the cold air fill her lungs. She felt a strange mix of fear and excitement. The stars were still out, but soon they would fade in the light of the rising sun. The moment to decide was approaching. Arya tilted her head slightly. "Before you depart," she said, "the Alliance has one final request. You will not simply be a passenger among the stars. You are chosen to represent humans on the Council. You will be their voice. You will speak for Earth, for the people of your species, and for the hope humans carry into the galaxy. The choice is yours, but it comes with responsibility." Lily's heart jumped. She had expected tests, forms, maybe even a mission. She had not expected a personal question or this kind of honor. She realized the gravity of the moment. She was not just leaving Earth as herself, she would leave as the voice of all humans. I need time," she whispered. Her throat was tight, her chest heavy. "This is a lot." Arya nodded. "Time is short. Your departure cannot wait, but I understand. You may think tonight. Decide at sunrise. The Alliance will respect your choice." The hum of the translator sphere filled the quiet space between them. Lily looked down at the city, the streets below beginning to stir with the first sounds of morning. She thought about her apartment, her little brother, and Ethan. How could she leave all of them behind? And yet, how could she refuse the stars? Arya's voice broke her thoughts. "There is one more question, Lily. It is as personal as it is important. Can you make this journey knowing your personal life is unfinished? That your heart, your bonds, may be stretched across time and distance? You must consider if you can go while carrying what matters most." Lily closed her eyes. Her heart felt frozen again, a mix of fear, love, and excitement. She had expected technical challenges, tests, protocols. She had not expected this. She had not expected to be faced with a question about her life, her heart, and her connection to someone she loved. She opened her eyes and looked at Arya. The alien's gaze was steady, patient, almost kind. She had waited for the answer, but she did not push. Lily took a deep breath, letting it fill her lungs. The air smelled like rain, city, and electricity. She felt alive. She felt human. And for the first time, she realized that whatever she chose, whatever she did, she would not be leaving home behind. She would carry it within her. The hum of the city, the soft light of dawn, and Arya's quiet presence created a strange calm. Lily nodded slowly. She had not answered fully, not yet, but she felt a clarity she had not felt before. This night, the stars, the city, and Arya's questions had changed something inside her. She would leave Earth. She would take her place among the stars, but she would carry her home with her. And when the time came, she would face the Council, face the galaxy, and speak for humans with all the heart and courage she could muster. For now, though, she just stood there, watching the sky, watching the first streaks of sunlight touch the rooftops, listening to Arya's soft hum and the quiet city below. Her heart still beat fast, but the frozen moment was passing. The future awaited her, and she was ready to begin walking toward it, even if her steps trembled with fear and hope. Lily returned to her apartment after the long night on the roof. The city was slowly waking up, the first sounds of morning breaking through the quiet. Cars hummed along the streets, birds called to each other, and somewhere far away a dog barked. The world continued as usual, but Lily's life had changed in ways she was only beginning to understand. She sat at the small kitchen table, her hands wrapped around a warm cup of coffee. The steam rose slowly, curling into the air, but it did little to calm her racing heart. Arya's questions and the weight of the Alliance's offer swirled in her mind. She had a choice to make, and it was bigger than anything she had ever faced. A soft knock came at her door. She looked up and saw Ethan standing there, his hair messy, eyes tired but alert. He carried a small bag in one hand, probably from the night before. "You okay?" he asked quietly. His voice was low, careful. He had seen the tension in her face, the way her shoulders carried the weight of the universe. Lily nodded slowly. "I think so," she said. Her voice was soft, uncertain. "It's just a lot to think about." Ethan stepped inside without waiting for an invitation. He placed his bag down and leaned against the counter, crossing his arms. "I can imagine," he said. "Aliens, star councils, your whole life about to leave the planet. That's a lot." Lily smiled faintly. "You could say that again." They sat in silence for a few moments, the only sound the quiet hum of the city outside. Lily stared at her coffee, wishing it could somehow hold the answers she needed. She felt torn. She wanted to go to the stars, to take her place among the other civilizations, and yet she did not want to leave Ethan, her home, and everything she loved behind. Finally, Ethan spoke. "So, Arya, she came here? Asked you all these questions?" Lily nodded. "Yes. She wanted to know why I am leaving. She asked about Earth, about my life, about what matters most to me, and about you too." Ethan frowned slightly. "Me? What about me?" "She wanted to know if I could leave knowing I have unfinished things here, if I could go while my heart is still tied to people I love." Lily's voice trembled slightly as she spoke. "She said it is normal, that all sentient beings have unfinished stories, but it made me realize how much I don't want to leave things incomplete with you." Ethan's jaw tightened. He had expected this moment, but he wasn't sure he could handle it. He had known she was leaving, but hearing it spoken aloud made it real. "Lily," he started, then stopped. Words felt too small for what he wanted to say. Lily looked at him, her eyes wide. "Ethan, She could not finish. Her chest felt heavy. Her thoughts were tangled. She wanted to go to follow the stars, but she also wanted to stay. Ethan stepped closer. "Listen," he said finally. "I can't tell you what to do. You have this chance to see the galaxy, to represent humans in ways no one else could. I get it, and I want you to do it. But," his voice caught, "I don't want you to go thinking you're leaving me behind. I want you to carry us with you even if you're far away." Lily's throat tightened. She had hoped he would understand. But hearing him say it aloud brought tears to her eyes. She took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. "I will, Ethan," she whispered. "I promise. I'll carry Earth, and you, and everyone I love. But I also have to go. I have to take this chance." Ethan nodded slowly. "I know. It's hard." "I know," Lily said. "It is for me, too." They sat together at the small kitchen table, the quiet hum of the city around them. For a few moments, neither spoke. Lily thought about all the years they had known each other, the small moments that had made their friendship, and more than friendship, so important. She thought about the laughs, the arguments, the long walks, and the shared secrets. Finally, she asked the question that had been in her heart since Arya's visit. "Ethan, do you want me to go?" He looked at her, eyes softening. "I want you to go," he said. "Because you're meant for this. You're brave, smart, and human in ways the galaxy needs. But I also want you to come back. That's the hard part. I don't want to lose you completely." Lily reached across the table and took his hand. "I won't leave completely," she said. "I'll come back when I can. And I'll keep carrying home with me." Ethan squeezed her hand gently. "That's all I need to hear." They stood together in the quiet apartment for a few more minutes. Lily felt a mix of sadness and hope. She was leaving, yes, but she would not forget. She would carry the people she loved with her, as Arya had said. And she knew Ethan would wait, just as she promised herself she would return when the time was right. Later, Lily packed the last of her things. She had already prepared most of her belongings for the departure: clothes, personal items, small mementos of her life on Earth. Each item she packed felt heavier than usual, filled with memories and meaning. She folded the shirts, wrapped the small notebooks, and carefully placed a photo of her little brother in the case she would carry with her. Her wrist device buzzed softly. A message from Arya. "The shuttle will arrive soon. Are you ready?" Lily took a deep breath and typed a quick reply. "Almost. Give me a few minutes." She looked around the apartment one last time. The small space had been her world, her home. It was not much, but it had shaped her. She had grown here, learned here, loved here, and soon she would take all of that into the stars. When she stepped outside onto the rooftop again, the sky was brighter. The first light of dawn painted the clouds in shades of pink and gold. The alien ships hovered above, their massive forms casting soft shadows on the city below. The streets were waking up, people beginning their day, unaware of the small drama unfolding above them. Ethan was already there, waiting. He had come up early, unable to sit still while the final preparations happened. Lily felt a warm rush of gratitude. Seeing him, knowing he was there, gave her courage. Arya appeared a few moments later, stepping from the edge of the roof in her soft blue glow. The translator sphere hovered beside her, spinning slowly, humming quietly. She looked at Lily and then at Ethan. "It is time," she said simply. Lily nodded. "I am ready," she whispered, even though her heart still trembled. Ethan stepped closer and handed her a small object, a simple metal ring on a thin chain. Lily recognized it immediately. It was the one he had worn in high school, a small symbol of their friendship, their bond, their shared history. "I want you to have this," Ethan said softly. "It's not a proposal or anything, just a promise that I will be here when you come back, no matter how far you go." Lily felt tears prick her eyes. She took the chain, holding it close to her chest. "I'll carry it with me," she said. "I'll carry you with me, too." Ethan gave her a small, brave smile. "Good, because I will be watching the stars, waiting for you." The shuttle arrived silently, a sleek craft descending from the clouds, glowing softly in the morning light. It hovered above the roof for a moment before landing on a flat platform built for departures. The engines hummed quietly, vibrating through the building. Arya gestured toward the boarding ramp. "Shall we?" she asked. Lily nodded. She took one last look at Ethan, the city, the streets, the small apartment that had been her world. Then she stepped forward, her hand brushing against Arya's arm. The ramp extended, and she walked carefully up toward the shuttle. Her heart was heavy, but her steps were steady. She was leaving Earth, leaving the people she loved, but she was taking them with her in a way that mattered. As she reached the shuttle, Arya spoke softly. "You are ready, Lily. Remember, the council awaits, and your voice will be heard. But never forget where you come from. That is your strength." Lily smiled faintly. "I won't forget," she said. She turned one last time toward Ethan. He waved, small but strong, and she waved back. Their eyes met, filled with unspoken words, promises, and hope. Stepping into the shuttle, Lily felt the hum of the engines beneath her. She felt the gentle pull of gravity and the quiet vibrations of the craft. She pressed her hand against the small window and looked down at the city shrinking below her. The streets, the buildings, the people, everything she loved. The shuttle lifted smoothly into the sky, passing above the clouds. The city became smaller and smaller until it was just a patchwork of lights and shadows. Lily's chest ached, but she also felt a strange exhilaration. She was leaving, yes, but she was ready. Arya floated beside her, calm and steady. "Do you have any regrets?" she asked. Lily shook her head. "No, I have love, hope, and memories. That is enough." The stars began to fill the sky outside the shuttle's windows. Earth was far below, beautiful and fragile. Lily pressed her hand against the glass again, feeling connected to it, to Ethan, and to everyone she loved. This was only the beginning.